Welcome to the Energy Hour. The Energy Hour is brought to you by Quality Home Improvement, Southern California's premier residential and commercial contractor, making homes and businesses energy efficient, one building at a time.
What's going on, Southern California? This is the Energy Hour podcast. I am your host, Christopher Moss. Today is episode 55, and believe it or not, we are in November 16th. The end of this year is coming, Rob.
No kidding. How fast was that?
Rob's in the house. What's going on, Rob? How you doing?
I'm all right, man.
Like that beard, man. Looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I can't live
nice
without
and,
it.
Nice and long.
Thank you.
Sean's in the house. What's up?
How you doing?
You know what? Today's not Friday, so we're getting there. A few more days, and
every day
TGIF.
should be a Friday.
Right, exactly. Every day needs to be a Friday. Yep. Fantastic. Well, today's show's kind of cool. We're going to catch up on a lot of stuff, a lot of good things to talk about, and some are kind of interesting to me. So let's look at the first topic here. It says solar end of the year. What does that mean to you, Rob?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that should be trying to get in by the end of the year. I mean, typically it was, ITC is changing, but even if they don't, NEM is changing for utilities locally.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're in 2.0. 1.0 was better than 2.0. We're going to go into 3.0. 2.0 is better than 3.0. The lower the number, it's like a golf score.
Yeah.
The lower the NEM, the better for the customer. So this is a great time, but it's a very limited time to get in.
So was I right to hear about the NEM statistics for 3.0? I mean, they're looking at some really, really interesting things. I mean, the utility company cannot wait. All the utilities cannot wait until solar means nada.
Right.
Because we're taken away from their income stream, right?
Sure. And on the other side of it, though, they're having to buy solar fields because they have to stay green.
Yeah. Well, that.
So it's a double edge.
What that does, it just brings their competition back.
Yeah.
They spend all their rebate money and any other money that they jack up through us. We just now got another notice that says, hey, we're going to up you another 1%. It's $134 billion
right
to cover the fires that they started.
Right.
I mean, what is up with that?
I don't know, but I'd like to be in a business where every place I screw up, the public has to pay for it, right?
That would be
Isn't that
perfect.
wonderful? You can't make a mistake, because if you make your mistake, you're being covered by the public that you're serving.
We'll just tell them.
Something seems a little wrong with that.
Well, remember, you are unfortunately in the day and age where if you lose, you still get a prize.
Yeah.
But you know who doesn't get the prize?
Who?
The consumer.
The
consumer just gets to pay for their mistakes, their fires, their equipment that's getting obsolete, and they have to replace it. But that's okay.
But you know what? They're not educated enough. Do you really think they care?
Who? The company?
The consumer.
I don't know. Well, the consumer cares that their bills are going up, but again, we've talked about the boiling frog endlessly. It's the whole thing is it goes up at 6 or 7%, and they tolerate it. They get mad, they get upset, and then they still end up buying. Because what's their alternative? Well, they have an alternative. It's like solar for yourself. Become your own utility, or be taken advantage of by your utility. That's it. It really is that simple.
What a line. Be taken advantage by your utility. That's just stupid.
Who wants to sign? We go back to this a lot. Who would ever sign an open-ended contract or lease or purchase that says, I can charge you whatever I want, whenever I want. I can go up as much as I want, whenever I want. And it's forever. That's what the consumer signed with.
Yeah.
SCE,
Thank you.
PG&E, LEDWP, San Diego, everything, right?
The California Energy Commission is the ones that let them do it.
Sure.
Those are the people that we give control for pricing, indexing, and all this other stuff. And then the utilities say, well, I'm just going to send a bunch of lobbyists in there to complain about money we need to make. Otherwise, we're going to have to shut down the utility grid.
Right.
Really?
Right.
Come on, man. That's not right.
No, it's not. So consumers need to get educated, number one. That's what we try to do. And they need to take control of their own power.
Otherwise, don't cry about it.
Chris has his sound effects out.
I'm serious. Don't cry about it when your flipping electric bill is $300 to $400 for an average 1,100 square foot home.
No, exactly. Like
Time of use is here. Remember when I said many, many years ago, you guys have heard this, they're going to put demand charges or time of use in residential customers? Where are we today?
Well, we got We've got time of use and demands are being disguised. Yeah.
It's such an unfortunate occurrence that, homeowners are going to suffer. And here's the irony. They don't really care what they use. Now they're putting LED lights. Even the televisions have kind of changed over to LED, OLED, and all these other things. These great technologies, nonetheless. Everything's turning into a smart home, and it's fantastic. And what are we going to do by 3035?
3035 or 2025? 35.
Oh, sorry. Did I say 30?
I think we'll be dead.
I personally don't have to worry about
I think we're
3035.
gonna be gone.
Unless reincarnation is real, then
You'll be cryogenically frozen.
that's true. That could be.
Yeah, so 2035, every vehicle has to be electric. All these gas guzzling, camel pumping, wherever they get their energy from is going to be, as they said in the Twilight Zone, what Meredith Burgess, what did he say? Obsolete.
That's every vehicle that's produced.
Right.
It's gone.
There's going to be how many millions on the road?
The millions that are still on the road now, well, guess what? Like they do in the bus industry, right? If your bus isn't up to par in California for CARB,
right,
then you have to have a certain engine in it by this minimum year for this certain whatever.
That's the thing.
All that does is force somebody to the car lot, because I've seen this on the road, and I've talked about this. Poor guys are getting their cars pulled over by the CHP. Instead of a DUI checkpoint, it's a carbon dioxide checkpoint.
Well, do you know what they limit the mileage on a bus in a year for those that are not?
They limit the mileage?
That are not CARB compliant.
Are you
do you
kidding
know what they
me?
limit that bus to in a year?
What?
1,000 miles.
Stop it.
Well, there's one way of.
There's your car thing right there.
There's your thing. That's how you.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's not
so
cool.
if you have
man.
a bus, like there's lots of churches out there that go pick up people.
Absolutely.
Not cool.
All right.
Not cool.
Well, now if their buses aren't compliant, they're only limited to 1,000 miles.
Well,
a
what does
year.
your insurance company say? Well, if you drive over 10,000 miles a year,
It just says follow the law.
yeah, bro.
And eventually they're going to pass the laws. Like right now we
Can
have.
you feel their hands getting in your wallet though?
Well, yeah,
Hardcore.
It's kind of like they're making their perceived value.
Yeah,
Right.
it's being
They're creating
it now.
Right.
Creating it now.
They create
Wow.
an institution, and the institution lobbies and canvases for A, B, C, or D,
Yeah.
and then they attempt for legitimacy by whatever vices they need to put in front of your face to tell you it's legitimate, and then from that point forward.
13 years from now, this is going to start. It's going to be rough, and I'm sorry.
And what's funny is, this is what's funny. Hey, we're going to do that to all the vehicles,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
supposedly, trillions of dollars and all this infrastructure and everything else like that, roads and all this other stuff. Well, still being manufactured by coal-driven industry.
Yeah, it's funny that Edison.
Yeah, they have to switch that over.
Everything
Yeah.
around you right now is coal-driven. Just about everything.
Yeah.
The sliver of renewables in comparison with coal and
Yeah.
oil is almost negligible.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if there's a climate initiative or a timetable for whatever. However, I
Right,
understand there's goals
right,
and things,
right.
and that's understandable. But in essence, it's an oxymoron.
It's an oxymoron,
In a way, is what
exactly.
it is.
Yeah.
Because you're still going to sit on
Plastics.
a chair.
Look at plastics.
Everything in this room, look at it. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything produced by oil and gas.
Even my Batman signatures.
Yeah. Probably.
The pen that it took to
Pen
write
that
it.
it took to write.
Wow.
But it's kind of
That's
two-faced
crazy,
to have to
man. Yeah.
push, well, this is my agenda, whatever it is, and say, when the whole thing, you're literally on a planet that's that.
The United States is actually even pushing less than other countries. We have to even realize that. There are other countries that are pushing much harder restraints on climate. And when you have all the biggest manufacturers out there saying they're not going to have a combustion engine after 2030, just think about that.
That's huge.
And then eventually what happens after that, and every house now has to have solar, but right now it's kind of some ridiculous 8 panels, which is just, useless.
That'll get your toaster going.
Yeah, you got your toaster. Maybe you did a load of laundry, but you can't run your AC. Things like that. But I mean,
By the time we get it installed, your electrical costs have increased already.
yeah,
Significantly. Right.
But I mean, when you look at all of that, the good news is there's the economy of scale with electrical vehicles is going to come down, but will that be passed on to the consumer? I mean, you've basically negated 1,000 parts by not having a combustion engine. You got better performance.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
When the batteries get better, so they have a greater than 300-mile range, there won't be the distance kind of phobia that people have.
This is the only thing that's going to kind of sidetrack that whole thing. What do you do with the lithium-ion batteries that have been exhausted? What do you do? You can't bury them. You're going to put them in a capsule and let
See, what it is
Elon Musk shoot them up into space.
I think people
release them.
Yeah,
I think people invent things and then go, well, this will last us for 50 years, which gives us about 50 years to try to come up with the
solution for that
that's
problem.
true.
Or
Gotcha.
whatever. Because we need money.
But I got to be honest,
ourselves
I don't think
forward.
the United States thinks more than 20 years in advance. Asia, if you look at Japan, they think they have a 100-year minimum plan.
They have a 100-year how to destroy
And the
it.
Chinese have a 100-year
yeah,
plan.
But that's how they
not good either, Paul.
no, but that's how they construct something that makes sense. Our problem is lithium-ion, as we know, is going to be gone.
I think that liquid metal you're talking about, you always bring up from Ambry and all these other companies.
There's going to be a lot of different things that are going to hit on there, and then they're all going to have to retool again. But that's what's going to give the cars the distance, and that's what's going to...
That's the stock to buy.
Probably, yeah. Batteries is going to be the big thing because it's not hard to produce energy. It's more expensive to store it.
And then secondly, this plastic stuff we talked about, right? Yeah. Now that they're trying to trim down and cut all the fat out and make it more efficient and stuff like that, we're still drinking water from bottled water. Plastic.
Yeah.
What were you saying earlier today, Shaun?
Oh, they've proven that
Rob says it all the time.
The plastics where you're drinking from this,
sure.
If over time enough trace amounts to where it could lower your testosterone.
Well, there you go. Maybe that's the plan. We got too high of a population anyway, right? I guess. That's why I always tease. I went to my doctor, said everything's fine, but my plastic levels are high.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you look at it, really, the government should give some advantages to buying electric cars, buying solar, doing atmospheric water in your home. I mean, it's much better to
I'm cool with that.
I mean, get your water off the sun, get your power off the sun. You know, my only thing is right now, batteries, as great as they are, they're just not as great as they should be. And they're going to change, and they're costing too much for how long they last. But solar and atmospheric water, it's brilliant. I think every new home, if I was to develop a new, like coming from an architectural background, if that's what I was going to do is a new track of homes, they'd have the right amount of solar panels, 2 atmospheric water generators on the roof, and now the cost of managing that home, cost of operations in a sense, would be low. And you don't need the plastic bottles.
Well, when they actually do size the systems for the homes, let's say track homes,
right?
It's based off the square footage of the home. Because they don't know who's going to go into that home.
No, exactly.
Right. So you might get into it. And
every home is different.
But you see these 3,000 square foot homes being built and they got 8 panels on it. I'm just like...
That's disgusting.
Excuse me, but that's what Robin Williams said. It's as useful as a Nerf vibrator. You know, it's just a token amount put on a house.
Nerf vibrator.
It doesn't do anything, right?
No.
But I mean, it's a token amount to put on a house just to bypass a law.
Yep.
But what it should be is meaningful. If we built track homes that had the amount of panels they should have and atmospheric water on it, you got all your own water.
You got
power.
China growing lettuce with LEDs. So yeah.
Well, that's how they grow weed.
Huh?
Well, I mean, LED lights and changing and and you can do it aeroponically or hydroponically, and you grow without pesticides and things like that.
One over the bow. Anyways, yeah, that's cool.
No, I mean, I think there's a lot of good things happening. The government's still trying to catch up, but Europe's way ahead of us.
Oh yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
So at the end of the year, get your solar system in. When does NEM 3.0 come into effect, Shaun?
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure, but I know that by the 19th of
this
November,
month,
if you expect to have any,
if you want to be installed,
yeah, gotcha.
But it could happen sometime in January 3.0.
They usually do it every 6 months. They have a reconditioning of that.
Yeah, but 3.0, like we've been in 2.0 for how long? A little bit.
Long time.
Yeah, but 3.0 will probably be for a bit too, but it's just like, why not install now? Save more money and jam in before the end of the year.
So let's talk about NEM 3.0.
Well, yeah.
They were saying through NEM 3.0, right now, most of these utilities either create their own electricity or getting it from solar farms.
Right.
Imagine that.
And you imagine you can also buy that clean energy for more
money. Cost you
money
more.
Instead of putting it on your roof for less money. Talk about.
These guys want to take a giant meat cleaver
Right.
to the solar market and beat us to death. That's why all these solar companies now are going, hey, fill out this form and
Right.
tell your governor that, NEM 3.0
Well,
or whatever is going to kill us.
And ironically, they can't exist as a business without going green.
You're right, exactly.
So they're telling you not to go green.
Yeah.
Listen to this, consumers. The utility is telling you they don't want you to go green, yet they have to go green to be in business. And if you want their green energy, you can get it for more money, or you could put it on your roof for less and bypass the utility in a sense.
And become what, Rob?
Your own utility, YO
Bingo.
utility, right?
Exactly.
It's you. You could become your own water and power for your drinking water with atmospheric water. I keep saying one day we're going to have another issue where we're killing people over toilet paper or water, and you don't have to go get shanked at Costco for it. You can go ahead and get the solar power and water from your roof.
Yeah, all from one source.
And it only increases the value of your home and everything. Because
What'd you pull up? Shaun?
CPUC preliminary schedule regarding NEM 3.0. In its original announcement, estimated 15 months in total, starting with November 2020 pre-hearing conference. So we're hearing about it now, right?
Yep.
However, the main proceedings in which parties will submit proposals for a successor tariff will not begin until spring 2021.
Okay, so
2021.
2021 or 22?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They actually wrote 2021 in here. But
Typo.
or is it?
well, hold on.
I don't.
That's what started already. It's already started for January.
November of 2020, right?
right.
Spring of 2021.
Yeah.
Okay. Successor tariff. All right.
Usually takes them a couple
anything
years.
Won't go into place until obviously 2022 regarding whatever decision happens.
Did they have any things that what's going to happen?
What?
Yeah, basically.
Let me tell you what I've heard.
Because it says right here, changes in the NEM.
Okay.
It'll basically mean this. Forcing customers onto the new NEM tariff starting January 2021, which started.
So new
Which
customers.
is 2.0, right, at the time. In other words, CPUC will ask consumers to go solar without knowing the terms of the agreement,
Oh,
net
that's
metering
nice.
program.
What?
Removing the 20-year grandfathering for existing
Oh,
customers.
boy.
And
So everybody swaps automatically.
reducing economic value of going solar 50 to 75% from what it is today.
I told you. I heard a story that instead of getting kilowatt hour for kilowatt hour, cost for
Right.
cost, they're buying this wholesale right now
Right.
at 4 cents
Yeah.
a kilowatt hour.
And they're looking to, it says here in NEM 3.0, to include decreases in credit paid to solar owners, new fixed monthly fees. So maybe the connection fees and different things might change, but the bottom line still
Don't
is.
worry, everybody. We're going to make it $50 a month. How do you like those apples, Bob?
But the bottom line is it's
Connection fee.
Look, I'm
Yay.
dealing with a customer right now that pays $600 a month.
That's ridiculous. Dude.
No way he's not going to save by going solar, no matter what they do. But he's better under 2.0 than 3.0, right?
Well,
Always. The previous it's a golf score, dude. It's the lowest. NEM is the best.
Here's
1.1.
here's what I can tell you.
1.0 was better.
Here's what I can tell you. Every solar company, everybody that works for anybody in the solar business, your jobs are about 5 years from extinction. No way.
No.
Mark my words, and I'm saying it today, guys.
No.
November 16th, 2021. I am making a prediction. In the next 5 years, the solar industry is toast in California.
No, not at all. It's bigger than ever.
I don't.
What do you base that on?
I disagree.
First
Based
of all,
on NEM 3.0, for example.
It's not going to matter.
What if they give the credit back? It's
Everything's-
only 5 cents a kilowatt.
It doesn't matter. I don't need the credit. I just need to buy my energy at a lower rate. I've never cared about getting money back from the utility.
So you think
Who
there's-
gives a shit on what they get back? They've always been cheap. My point is, I don't need to pay 40, 50 cents a kilowatt hour.
But it used to be.
I just need to, if I'm spending 20 or 15 instead of that, I'm already ahead. The only time you're worried about what you're going to get paid back is if you're oversizing your system.
No, what they're worried about, unfortunately, is trying to make money off of their solar electric system instead of just letting the solar system pay for itself and then call it a wash. All these people saying,
But
I want extra
remember back-
kilowatt hours
remember
after
back in the
fact,"
day-
is really kind of
Do you know the only
benign
thing
in a way.
that's affected? Remember back in the day when people used to go solar, it wasn't that many years ago, and they'd have us up their size of their system by 20, 30% because they used to get money back from the utility that made sense. Remember?
Made
We'll go
sense,
ahead and
right.
we'll buy it back from you. Okay. So it's just the buyback that's getting affected. If you're still if your energy is still costing you less by a solar loan instead of an ever escalating 6 to 7% a year. Well, I mean, you've also projected that we're going to be 50, 60 cents a kilowatt hour. So there's no way solar's going away in California. It's going to quadruple in
San Diego
size.
Gas and Electric
Yeah.
is at 48 plus cents
So
per
there's
kilowatt
no way
hour.
solar goes away in California. It's only going to get bigger and bigger. But buying today is like buying Apple stock 10 years earlier. Mark my words. It's like when Southwest went and bought all their gas for their fuel for the next 10 years. They bought the margin. They hedged it.
I don't know. I think
There's no crickets on that. I'm going to tell you right there. Because first of all, you'll kill your own business if you think solar is not going to be out there.
Wait a minute.
Solar's going to be huge.
We do a lot more than just solar.
No, I know, but solar is going to be the biggest part of your business no matter what over the next decade. The 2030 plan with automobiles. Do you know how many more people are going to have an electric car in their driveway in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, it's going to give Edison or whoever these utilities are another strong point.
Well, here's the thing.
We're making our money back because everybody that bought solar has screwed me is now going to pay me back.
But if you're smart enough to buy an electric vehicle, you have to trust the consumer eventually is going to be smart enough
And
to
solar,
generate electrical energy off
anything,
the sun.
Solar has never decreased.
Never.
Yeah, but they're just decreasing the value of it.
No,
No.
on buyback.
No, as far as
You said it. Say it again.
No,
Hold
on
on.
buyback. I never
Hold on.
cared about the buyback ever.
as far as
I never
production
cared.
is concerned,
Yeah.
Production is one thing.
If I
but
wipe
still,
out my
production
consumption,
is based off of forecasts. Otherwise, they're not going to come out of pocket.
What
millions of dollars
happens?
to make anything.
Let me just give you a hypothetical. What happens if the utility companies say, NEM 3.0, 3.5, whatever you want to say, is no longer going to be based on performance. It's going to be based on what it produces.
I already have the answer.
We're going to convert
but I
that
already
into
have the
cents
answer.
per
Okay.
kilowatt.
I already have the answer.
Solar's
you
dead.
know what's going to happen?
What?
Solar's not dead. Solar's
No.
going to increase exponentially if they do that.
Exactly.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because off-grid system is going to fly off the shelf.
Yeah, but you're still going to be connected to the grid.
Not necessarily.
and I can tell you this too. I'm talking with.
There's a city municipality code before you bought your house.
Hold on 1 second.
No.
You can be connected to the grid, but you are also in control of how much you export to the grid.
Yeah.
Why do you think they have the smart inverters now that they have?
Right.
So you can decide how much you want to send back to the grid.
Listen, I really hope I'm wrong.
I've told, just to let you know, I've told customers for the past few years that if they're ever thinking about going solar because of the money they can get bought back at, they're foolish. It has nothing to do with that. What you're trying to do is buy your consumption at a lower fixed rate.
I hope I'm wrong.
You know,
I want you guys to tell me, I told you so, Chris, and that's cool.
No, this one's gonna bear out because the solar industry is gonna do nothing but boom for the next 34 years. We have such a small percentage. If you go to Germany and other countries that you take a look, they got 50% conversion. What are we at?
Doesn't Germany
what are we at in
actually
California?
Doesn't Germany actually pay their consumers that haven't?
Well,
I
first
think
of all,
there's something like that,
they're
yeah.
at least 15 plus years ahead of us.
No, right.
As far as
on everything.
implementation,
Right,
with regards to renewal, the whole aspect of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So we get to kind of look at them like looking back into the past to see what hiccups or mistakes are made and model accordingly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why solar has always risen.
Yeah, it's never gonna go down.
All
Not
right,
for a
well,
long time.
I hope that
You'll have the companies
because-
out there go out of business, but there will always be a broad aspect to where solar
Because
is heavily involved.
and the NEM's grandfather for 20 years typically.
Look at over
Correct?
in Asia. Everything over there is solar.
If I buy right now and I'm under 2.0, everything's grandfathered in for 20 plus years. The
Right
only thing that can mess that up is if I go in and augment that system.
NEM 3.0.
No, only if I add on to the current system that's under 2.0, it would augment and kill 2.0 and put me in 3.0. But if I add a
Chris,
second complete system, it
why do you-
doesn't bypass 2.0.
Why do you think? Have you noticed nowadays a lot of it is, hey, we can retrofit your existing system for backup power.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
You see that a lot now, right?
Yep.
It's kind of prevalent in
Yeah.
a way, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of like trendish, sort of.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So people adapt, right? So that's where additional components that are maybe have been unsold previously can now be sold, and then there's sold at lesser price.
And you have
and
to
it
think.
helps
You
the
have to think
consumer.
about this: the conversion rate from petrol combustion engine, gasoline engines over to electric, people are going to start fueling their cars off their home electricity instead of gas stations.
Rightfully so.
So here's the thing. Solar has no fear. Gas stations do.
Well, you know what it is?
Gas stations have to start converting to having charging stations, fast charging stations, because there are going to be more and more cars that are not going to need them.
Yeah.
The gas station is going to be
a charging station.
The 8-track tape.
Yeah.
The solar industry is not going to be
because gas stations currently right now, you know what they make their money off of? Not the gas.
Yeah.
They don't make no money off the gas.
So do you think the Fed and the state is going to dip their wick into that as well? When these poor guys
imagine if you remove the transactional aspect of a purchase, right? Where you go to the gas station, you fill up your tank. Well, now you're no longer really having to do that, because the reason why you went there is because you saw a price was cheap enough to stop by to get what you needed, unless you just had it like that, or to go buy something in the store, because they don't make no money off that gas.
Quickie marts are definitely going to have their,
it's kind of like
sandwiches, nuts,
but it's kind of like restaurants. They make their money off the booze.
So,
but it's a good point to think about. Gas stations will have to start to retrofit.
I saw the very first charger.
They're going to have to start delivery services from gas stations to send you something, because they're not going to be able to make money from a gas station because they're not going to.
And you know what bears that out too.
That's how they make their money.
We know a couple loan companies right now, right, that will fund a gas station converting to put solar and to be able to have charging stations, right? Do you know what one of their prerequisites is? They have to have a mini mart or a restaurant attached to it.
Right.
Because that's where they make their money. A restaurant makes X amount. Let's take Cheesecake Factory. I know it's one of your funny things
right now.
What's up,
Cheesecake?
All right. So they make a good portion off their money, right? But it's the cocktails that they have about, they buy a bottle for a $50 bottle for $10 or $15 because it's at wholesale, and they charge $10 to $12 a shot. That's where they make their money. They make the money in the stores. They make the money at the amount of time that people spend there. That's why the loan companies want to make sure there's restaurants or mini marts attached to the charging stations.
I also heard that when these conversions take place, the gas stations kind of convert into electric vehicle charging stations. They have these mini marts and everything's still connected. I was told that supercharging stations are going to be anywhere from 480 to 800 volts. That means you can get a charge. Yeah. Tesla's got them now. You can get a charge.
Porsche has an 800 volt car.
You can get
Tesla doesn't even have that.
7 minutes.
Yeah.
You're almost fully charged.
Yeah.
And when these batteries get better and better and better, you're going to get 400-mile charges.
Right. But when you're not buying gas anymore and you want to charge at home, what are you going to have to do? Your home bill goes up. So how you counteract that is with solar.
Yeah.
Solar. And you know what's going to increase? Not just solar, you'll have battery backup so you can charge anytime.
And not to mention the fact that obviously as time goes by, so does the efficiency of the material.
Yeah. Of course, yeah. Well, you can only get 25% of silicon anything.
Well, that's not true. I see all kinds of stuff with perovskite and all kinds of different...
Yeah, gallium arsenide if you want to be on the planet somewhere. So, you can't touch it.
Yeah, but...
everything that they make right now is in a controlled environment. You can't touch it.
But just look at...
Interesting.
But just look at even... Forget the 25%, right?
Yep.
Just look at the efficiency and wattage difference. Example, one we just came across. I showed you a customer who from something that rhymes with buntum out there. They gave him a quote of 23 panels, right, to offset 9,970 kilowatt hours a year. 23 panels. Well, if we look at that, that means their panels, excuse my language, people, the crap they're selling you on a really polished marketing and branding scheme.
Giving you crap that was
giving you 36 kilowatt hours a month per panel, where we've got panels that produce 70.
That shit's been in a warehouse for days.
So instead of 23 panels, you need 16.
Yeah, big difference, right?
So just in the wattage and efficiencies, there's been a big jump, But with all these cars going, like the people that 2 years ago thought they would never, ever have an electric vehicle will have one within 5 years. And we're looking at the prices dropping. We're going to start to see sub $30,000 cars that are fully electric within the next couple of years. They're already in the plans. So I think at that, you're going to start charging at home. And
Chevy Volt started it way back when.
Chevy Volt started it. Yeah, no, I mean, they killed the electric car, 15 years ago.
Yeah, they murdered that guy.
So I mean, but it's just getting better and better.
Yeah. It is.
And Tesla pushed that envelope, and I'm thankful to Musk for that, but it's still a crap car. Sorry for
Well,
saying that,
I
Musk.
mean, once he gets passed by J.D. Powers and we're not going to burn up in our front seat anymore, I might consider something like that.
Well, part of the issue there is getting away from lithium-ion.
Right now, Elon, I'm sorry, I'm not going to burn up. Not going to do it.
No, I in a second, I just don't like his cars.
So is that the only car out of all the entire production that they've ever made out of all those Teslas that's burnt up? Or is there 30, 50, 60 of them?
There's a 1.0 and 2.0.
No, but what
now
I'm
there's like
saying
a
is
3.0 sedan or something like that.
His number of cars that have burned.
I mean, check out Google right now. I mean, ask Google how many Teslas have fried in the last 12 months.
What I'm getting at is this. Okay, so how many Toyotas?
But not so much after they.
Let's do a statistic, and we'll bring that back next time.
One of the things that caused
the
problem there was they didn't realize that road debris could go up and hit the battery pack and cause a fire.
It's like when
they put a plate below, so that doesn't really happen anymore. But everyone else. So there's a thing that says first to market's wonderful, but second to market's better in some respects. Porsche, Audi, Volkswagen, Toyota, Ford, all these other people, though, have looked at the equation and figured out a better way of doing it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, hey, listen, I'm happy he did it.
I'm happy he did it.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I just don't, as a car enthusiast, I don't get turned on by someone who says, I'll charge you $150,000 for a Plaid that has crappy interior when I can have a Porsche that, really, I'm still... Look how fast I am, and I've got a Porsche for $150,000.
Right.
You have to have culture and heritage in the vehicle as well, and performance. Going 0 to 60 doesn't help you.
If I had money like that, I'd much rather spend it on somebody just to drive me to and from where I need to go.
There you go.
A car that does it for you.
But the price is going to come so far down. But when they're charging at home, trust me, they're going to go solar. They have to. Because of the Imagine, look at all the deals I'm looking at this week. $500-$600 a month. I don't have an electric car yet.
Listen. 20 years ago, $500-$600 a month? Are you kidding me? That just goes to show you how far these guys have slapped the bejesus
6 to 7% a year
out of the consumer,
compounded
what's
every
sad
year.
Is how the consumer is kind of used to paying that.
It's the boiling frog
in the water. Rob says it.
If it's just like Netflix. Netflix increased all their prices, and everybody bitched and moaned. But guess
$9.95. Now it's almost $20.
$17.99 is like for it's $18. But everyone's.
No wonder they let you share with friends, right?
Everyone's gonna bitch and moan. No, and you know what they did too?
They feel sad. They feel bad about it.
Not only the ability to share with friends, it's like you want the best video quality too, right?
Right.
So people are buying 4K TVs, and they're like, "Oh, take 720 DPI for $9.99." Of course not. So, but when you look at it,
that's so wrong.
The frogs in the pot are gonna just boil slightly more. They're gonna bitch and moan for a month or two, and they're gonna still pay it every month. But utility is going up. Can you
obsolete?
Multiply 6 to 7% and compound it for 10 years, and watch how much your bill's going to go.
Hey, listen,
it's going to double.
You want to see what's going to happen to society? Just watch the Twilight Zone series with, Rod Serling.
Yeah.
He is so great. Yeah. All of his episodes completely fit into what today's society is. Everything is going on the toilet is quicker than you can shake the stick. Everything's going obsolete, getting bigger, better, faster, stronger, whatever.
Right.
Now we have to cut back and make new and all this stuff. Watch his episodes.
Yeah.
You're going to see 85% of that. But
instead of showing you an episode of Aliens with a cookbook, how to serve a man,
cookbook.
We just eat each other,
Yeah. Listen, if you lay on the floor long enough, somebody's going to come by and eat you. I'm sorry.
Well, and the
obsolete.
And the way around it really is we need, like what we do here, you got to educate the consumer.
Oh my God.
And consumers, they don't want them educated.
Hey, Bob, you're going to be paying more money next month because we said so. Hey, how's that working out for you?
Yeah. We reserve the right to raise your bill because it's Tuesday.
Isn't it?
Dude, car payments. Insurance payments. What's next?
Isn't it sad?
Is that troll going to go up on my
sad,
desk?
right?
But think about that.
It's sad, right?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it's freaking sad.
It's completely sad.
Here, let me get the harp out.
But hold on. Sad, but the consumer is in control.
Here we go. This is perfect for Shaun.
But
Okay, Shaun.
the
Just go ahead, give me
consumer's
that.
in
Thanks a
control.
lot.
Appreciate that.
The consumer's in control, though.
All right, wait a minute here.
Here's the thing. You have to control
here.
what you can control.
Hey, listen, I can't even afford to pay my Spectrum bill. Come on, that's $220 bucks.
Yeah, but that's because you're on rack rate, and I told you
58
you need to change
DVRs.
that.
My dog has a DVR.
You need to just cancel
What the
your
hell's
subscription
going on?
and go pick up your new stuff the next day.
All right. But you know what I'm
Mine
saying?
was 120. It's 54 now because I did what I did. You just have to Here's the thing.
Here's that everybody
The
in Spectrum
system-
land.
No, the system. Yeah, no, the system. Yeah, it's good to have people that work in.
You know what they
Spectrum.
say? That Spectrum's going down the toilet right now.
No, you
Is that
should watch
true?
that video. SNL.
I'm just saying, man.
Well, I hope it doesn't, because where we're at, it's only Spectrum there. And,
I know. So we love you guys. Stay in business.
No, but
Cool.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
They're always gonna, these
They're
big
gonna-
corporations are always gonna try to get them as much out of as you can. It's up to you, the consumer, to get educated and take as much control as you can back. Solar is one of the best ways
Oh, yeah,
you can
for
level
sure.
the playing field.
Yeah.
Period.
Trust me, you can afford it
Period.
now because you can work at Jack in the Box
yeah.
and make $17, $18
but
an
here's
hour.
the great news. Here's the great news. Please, if consumers are listening, please listen to this. The fact that they keep raising their rates is good news for you about solar, because solar has never been more affordable. We got to take that button away from him.
Sorry,
No,
man.
but think.
I know he doesn't even taper it off.
No,
he
just-
cuts it right off.
But think about
Supposed to
that.
be realistic, man.
They're so overt and they're just upping the charges on their consumers that at some point you got to get smart enough to take your control back. If I can own my own power for less than I'm renting it at an escalated rate, I'm stupid for not doing it.
Obsolete.
No, what do you think, right? Because how many people do we
Chris thinks
consult?
it's obsolete.
No.
No, I get it. I appreciate what you're saying, man.
No,
Trust me, I do.
it's the absolute truth.
Yeah.
How many people don't get it until we help them get it? And then the light bulb goes on. You see it in their face. They go, I can own this stuff and get a tax credit for less than I'm renting it, and it's not going to go up 6 or 7% a year. No, it's you own it. It's no escalation. Pay it off as soon as you want. It's a flat rate loan, and the loan is cheaper. Oh, by the way, it increased the value of your home. Oh, by the way, it decreased your cost every month. Oh, by the way, every year that goes up, you avoid the cost of energy that increases year after year. So someone looks at you and goes, I don't know if I want to pay 30, 40 grand for something. I go, yeah, but you're paying $173,000 over the next 20 years if you don't do it.
With no
And then the
return
light
on
goes
investment.
No
No
return on
return on investment.
No increase in the house. And trust me, I know some realtors that they sell houses with solar for
Quick,
more
a
money.
lot quicker.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's actually 20% faster.
If it doesn't have,
Right.
excuse my language, if it doesn't have shit on the roof. And so many of
yeah.
these companies are out there putting
Sorry, bum rum.
No, I mean, seriously.
Is that what they sound like?
When I looked at that guy's deal, right?
rum.
I just figured out who that is now.
Red
Okay.
rum?
No.
Oh, just say red rum. Cool.
So when you look at somebody putting a panel on their roof that does 36 kilowatt hours a month, and ours do 60 to 70 some odd kilowatt, they're just putting they're putting what they can buy at the cheapest because their overhead is so
Those
high.
are the guys that are getting
It's
this crap from Beijing or
and by the way,
Ethiopia, wherever the hell they're
And by
getting
the
them
way,
from.
just to tell you, that very company is taking 6 months to get someone installed.
Yeah, one of your guys right now is about ready to
I
cancel.
was out there yesterday. He's canceling because 6 months.
What are they doing?
Have
Well,
no
and
idea.
You have to remember.
Oh, we gotta
there's
find more
probably-
crap.
No, there's probably some of them that were installing that aren't installing now that maybe they went on unemployment like a lot of people did.
Oh. Well, you can
know,
work from home, Shaun.
Everybody's suffers by proxy because that
But
specific
dude, they were
company
on
you're
his
talking
roof.
about
They were on
was
his
done
roof,
before.
and they chalked out
course.
the outlines.
Yeah.
He signed all the documents.
Yeah.
He and his wife were totally approved.
Yeah.
Even if he went on unemployment, his wife didn't. It's just crazy.
You know why? That's how you cement a deal.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That's how you spike a deal.
Light
You get
everybody.
people- the people are still more involved. in it.
Light everybody. Give them crap.
But as you know, if we get you
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
qualified, we get you installed.
Yeah, well, our biggest thing here is the AHJ. You know,
Yeah, well, but
it
everyone.
takes 2 weeks. Normally, you got to get a business license, then you got to go to planning, and then you got to buy the permit. And they said, go ahead and install it.
Right.
That's it.
But that's not. He's this guy signed in March.
Wow, it takes us 2 weeks.
We're 7 months in.
If there's no,
Well, I would be interested to know if he was direct with them or it was one of their little satellite people.
So I looked at the contracting because what
let's
I
talk
thought,
about that in a second. Go ahead.
Yeah, I looked at that because what I saw is sometimes this big company we won't mention the name of, they just use their financing and it's another company. Right. But I also saw they were listed as the installer. And that was kind of mind-boggling.
They don't install anything.
No, I know, but when they're listed as the installer, it normally is the whole deal is through them. I thought it was through another company, which it still may be for the installation.
Listen,
because they sell their lease to everyone.
It's just like anybody else. They can still do their own. They have their own. As a matter of fact, I know
they got 4 guys.
Well, hold on.
Perfect.
I know a guy that works with them. Directly.
Yeah.
And he's doing installs for them.
Does he wear the
San Diego?
Does he wear the underwear?
He wears whatever they got to wear.
Okay.
That's part of the job. So
right.
But he's direct with them. He's not like a satellite that does it.
Well, and all those companies, you probably know this, obviously, but most of those big companies take 3 months to install you anyway. Yeah. But we're talking 7 months.
And listen,
and there's the volume in comparison with.
And let me tell you something. If you can't get your installer to install you for 6 to 7 months, have a problem with your system and try to get customer service on the line. And get ghosted for a month.
Here's another problem. I mean, we're
just go with a reputable place.
We're kind of doing that as well. There's sales organizations out there that know how to sell.
Sure.
They just sell the bejesus out of solar. It's like boiling a bunch of spaghetti. They throw it against a wall, and whatever sticks is a sale.
It's because they didn't rinse the spaghetti, but yeah.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, they hire guys like us, which is, probably going to terminate soon. And because they pay you less than spaghetti to do all this stuff. Install. And they make all the money, Bob. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
The money's on the sales side. Always.
The money's on the sales side. Yeah, so
it always is.
All these little sales teams, a lot of them are convicts. Don't want to say who, but you know who I'm talking about, right? MM. Anyways.
I don't, but go ahead.
Yeah, it's an inside story, but he knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You can be a felon and own a solar company these days, unfortunately. A lot of these companies are coming up and starting to just sell this stuff by the gaggle. First and foremost, before you buy a solar system, check their contractor's license. If they do not, most of these sales organizations don't even know what a contractor's license is. They just sell it.
They sell it.
And then they use your logo and do all that stuff, and they do whatever, right?
Right.
And they're interested only in the money. They don't care about the customer, period. No, I'm sorry, it is what it is.
It's not like us. We really.
I mean, I've got
really
credenza
care for
after
our customers.
credenza after credenza after credenza of customers that we've done.
Yeah.
And it's not just solar. We do other things. So go to the website, qhiinc.com. All right.
Right.
So that being said, just be very cautious.
Well, that's...
Yeah. And make sure that these clowns have an HIS license.
That's why I think when we're out there talking to people, we feel protective of our customers. Because when we know, like, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
When I know I'm saving them money, because I tell people I'll be the first to tell you should do it. I'll be the first to tell you shouldn't if it doesn't make sense, right?
Yep.
But I feel that if it really makes sense and it's really saving them money, I have to close them, because if I leave them out in the public, you
got to do a service for them.
No, some other person out there might take advantage of them, and there are people like that in the industry. And I hate to tell you this, but it's some of the biggest corporations that are not doing a great service. And I don't care if they have a kiosk in Costco.
I still hear it all the time. I'm going to get back a check from the federal government. I'm still hearing it.
You have to explain
today.
That.
Are you kidding me?
It's because they don't. Well, yeah.
Education's everything.
On YouTube, I keep getting the person that the government's paying you to go solar.
Solar's free. You get that one, right?
No, it's not free. It's also they're giving you money to go solar.
There's a guy.
Have you heard these ads?
What?
Yeah, they're going to pay you.
There's a guy with glasses on YouTube. Is that the one you're talking about?
No, there's a dozen of them. We're going to pay you. The government's going to pay you to go solar. Well, first of all, there's an ITC. We explain what that is to you. You have to have a tax liability or appetite to take advantage of it.
Period.
But if you do, wonderful. If you don't, maybe there's another financing program available for you. But you need to have someone that actually cares about you.
Felony financing.
No, but What do we always say? I always tell customers, I treat your house like it's mine. I treat your bank account like it's mine. I'm gonna look at you as if you're my relative.
Gotcha.
You're my brother, you're my parent, or something like that. And we look after you because there are even some of the big companies I've worked for, they didn't. They have a bottom line. They have to hit a certain bottom line.
Yep.
Our bottom line is most of our work comes through all referrals because we do good work. Right?
Yeah, that's just how it is.
And we don't have to put all our money in advertising if we
Nope.
just do good work.
Nope.
Our advertising is our good work, and we get the referrals.
I get more leads and more opportunities and referral based on what we do.
What we do. So that's the thing. And what they're doing is they're doing it on marketing, and if they got some bad stuff, they just push it under the rug. But it's some of the biggest companies that have done some really bad
I've heard
deals.
this before too, and you're dealing with somebody that has been in the same position. I just picked up a couple of guys from Hoorah. They just came over because they told me their little sad stories. You were dealing with a guy that wasn't getting what he was promised. A lot of these sales organizations are still ripping people up.
Well, and there's a lot of companies out there.
Why?
There's a lot of companies out there that are not solar businesses, but they advertise themselves as them. Yeah. And what they are is a sales organization, a marketing organization, and they promise their salespeople a certain amount of money, and they never deliver.
Yeah.
I just came across one story yesterday. This happened yesterday, where the salesperson, there was $1,000 referral fee that they were giving the customer.
Oh, nice.
We do that.
Yeah.
We've done that.
That's like normal.
But you know what they told the salesperson?
No.
When he said, "Well, we got to give him that will come out of
his commission."
But that was that was all of his commission and more. So he's like, "Hold on, I'm now working for free, and I'm actually at a negative."
What a freaking joke!
Those type companies are not going to be around long, and they're not doing a good service for their consumers or their salespeople. So they just
bum.
No, this was different, but
Hoorah! That guy?
No, it's some. No, this that's why I'm here because I don't know what that was.
It's quite Ching Solar.
No.
All right.
This not brought to you by me. No. No, but what I'm saying is there are a lot of companies out there that have integrity and some that don't. And
true.
And there's some that are doing really good work and some that are not. And just do your due diligence. Look at their reviews. Look at what people are saying about them. Like we say, go check our website out. Check our Google reviews. You see what we do.
Yep.
But when we survive on referrals, it means we must be doing good business.
I guess.
Because, you don't get referrals when you've done a bad job.
That's true. Yep.
Right? But what they just do is they just advertise more and more and more. And what they're doing is they're just figuring if I hit the masses, I'll get enough. And they don't worry about the referrals.
Yep.
That's just wrong.
I like it. Yeah. Yeah, that's wrong.
So, but solar, I agree, Shaun. We're
okay.
We're only
We're
going to see the biggest increase over the next 10, 20 years.
All right. I hope I'm wrong. I just had this feeling in my bones, and I've been pretty spot on. But maybe I'm getting older, and I'm kind of getting senile.
You have a little, you got a little arthritis in the bones, maybe.
maybe that Batman tattoo kind of went to my head.
No, it's gonna become one of the biggest. The green industry is going to be one of the biggest job creators in the world.
I need a Batman button. It says Batman. No? Here,
no.
Hang on 1 second.
Oh, jeez.
This is what Rob wants to say. No, there's what Rob wants to say.
Oh, my God.
That's a mute point. Anyways.
No.
All right. So let's get to the next subject. Generac, talking about murdering an industry and making an industry badass. Generac has got some really cool things going on with their built-in little 9 kilowatt system. Right, Shaun?
That's the power cell.
The power cell.
It's quite innovative.
LG, when batteries came out, I can't say their name. Sounded like that.
They're supposed to be, sounds like Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Did I say the name? I did, didn't I?
No,
Sonam, whoever.
Whatever. Who cares?
Sodom? Anyways.
It doesn't matter. What Generac is doing is...
That new solar company, Sodom and Gomorrah.
Exactly. Sodom and Gomorrah, power.
Generac is really making a really cool power station that you can hook up, and it's a 7,600 watt inverter.
Right.
You can put a decent amount of panels on it, and if you need more because you're fearing the zombie apocalypse or a blackout or a brownout, you can add more to it, and it doesn't cost you your soul.
No, it doesn't cost you what the typical batteries are costing you from the big guys.
What is a 9.8K run? We see them all the time. Just go to Google and type 9.8K, I don't know, LG or whatever battery. These guys, they hit the ground running and they made all the money up front, right? So
Tesla did the same thing.
Yep.
If you're willing to wait 3 months for them to install it.
Generac, which we are migrating towards, are putting these little battery backup solutions together.
Smart.
And yeah, talking about being smart, yeah.
Put battery backup in your inverter?
Hello?
Are you kidding me?
That's badass.
They saw a hole in the industry.
Somebody did a cannonball and it was Generac, and they've
what they're looking at is that big difference between having a battery or not having a battery, and do you want to go spend $12,000 on a battery when you can spend a bit more on your inverter, a bit more actually, just a bit more, and have that kind of backup capacity in there. Keep your fridge going, keep things like that going. I think it's brilliant.
It's about time.
And the price point's wicked. It's great. It's good for the consumer.
Kudos to Generac.
Yeah.
I don't hear anything bad about it. All I hear is performance.
They've been around for how long?
Yeah, and
some of their big systems are keeping some of your biggest hospitals and government buildings lit when stuff goes bad.
When the power goes down,
so
Generac's there.
They're a big company, but it's a little bit of a disruptive force in the market.
Yep.
If you can go ahead and do that in just a traditional, inverter.
I think it's the best thing that's ever happened to the industry.
And the premium on the inverter cost is
minimal.
Negligible.
Negligible, really.
Absolutely. So, I mean, that might be just something we want to start. We're testing it out, but that might be something we start installing quite broadly.
Maybe I'll put it in my house.
I think it's a great idea. Shaun was showing me everything this morning. We were going through a lot of the specs, and it's pretty brilliant.
So what are your opinions on it, Shaun?
Well, Generac does emergency power generators, and they've, kind of canvassed over into the power cell. Power Cell was originally another product before it was renamed Power Cell, but it's still the same thing, still the same premise. Their 7600 model basically comes with 9 kilowatt hours kind of pre-installed, and then you can just add on 3 kilowatt hour increments on up to 18 kilowatt hours total for the 7600.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you could double the capacity.
Wow. That's great.
So for example, the Tesla has 13.5, and then the LG is 9.3 roughly if it's continuous, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So, and whereas the Power Cell has a 9K pre-built, and then you can add on just in an enclosure, which will be adjacent to it. And, you can either have it inside or outside. And there you go.
Talking about time of use, right? Charging your car at night as you sleep.
Oh, and then you can selectively choose how you want that power to be allocated.
That's really cool.
Can you dump that back to the grid too?
You can choose
when
you want to, how much you want to. You can dedicate it to certain loads depending on A, B, C, or D, just to give you a general idea. I think for 3 of them, which is what's in the 7600, you can have continuous 3,400 watts continuous. You can have 2 minutes. I believe it. I don't have it in front of me. I believe it's 6,700 watts.
Wow.
And then there's another criteria in between that's a little bit better. But basically, you have that as your backup power if needed.
So you got microwaves, you got televisions, you got your refrigerators.
Your fridge,
most important, right?
Everything is basically just handled through an automatic transfer switch. It just recognizes that there's a fluctuation power, grid goes down,
right?
ATS kicks on.
You don't even know it went down.
And then it goes to whatever the dedicated loads are. Plus, you can see everything on your phone for what's happening whenever and however you want to.
Right.
You're in another state.
Whatever. Like I got a guy that has a lot of brownouts.
I'm sure they have a really smart app that gives you an alert.
Yeah, it's all pre-built.
Kudos to Generac, right?
Like the guy that I talked to yesterday, he gets brownouts a lot. That would be brilliant. Keeps his fridge going and a couple other things while something like that happens. But he doesn't have to go spend the $12,000.
The beauty of it is
for the battery.
12,000, you believe that? Wow.
I mean, batteries are expensive.
Yeah.
People don't get it.
The beauty of it is you can use that battery backup power at nighttime when they're charging you 36 cents a kilowatt hour.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because in the morning.
There's the savings right there. Well, and everybody's going to have a his and a hers.
Well, and the savings, too, is not having to replace all your food in the fridge. If something goes down overnight, they get a lot of brownouts where he's at. And that's just what they're trying to save against.
And to be honest, most brownouts, unless it's statistically proven otherwise, I would presume are in the daytime, right?
Yeah, most of them are.
Okay, fine.
No,
so,
yeah.
at nighttime, I'd be taking the gamble if I had one of those things there. Hey, yeah, go ahead and suck off the energy storage that I did during the course of the day to charge those puppies up so I can use that at nighttime instead of using power from the street.
Sure.
And then when X amount of time rolls around, revert back to charging the batteries and then feeding off the solar during the day as I need my power needs for the day.
At a cheaper rate.
And there you go.
Selling it back at the higher rate.
It's a no-brainer.
I mean, that's just beautiful.
What's really beautiful about that, though, is like I said, it's just a little bit of a premium on the cost of the inverter. It's like we said, it's almost negligible. You don't have to go out and outlay 12, 14 grand.
I mean, it's doing three things at once.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice because you don't have to have these massive enclosures with these deep cell batteries and all this other stuff.
That original, just the 9K thing, looks like a regular, almost inverter size.
For the most part.
I went to a symposium where they brought up this new lithium-ion battery company. It's from Germany, I think. Nice. But and they had this huge box, dude. It was like, it must have weighed 1,000 pounds. And it was full of batteries, and it was like their 10K or 9K, whatever the hell it was. It was humongous.
Well, first of all, the product has a 10-year warranty.
Wow.
And they actually do use lithium.
Nice.
It is actually lithium. Lithium's going to be around for a long time regardless.
Yeah,
there's issues with regards to how do we dispose of it after the fact, whatever. That industry will make its industry as things progress.
Yeah.
Okay. It's no different than the things they manufacture that are probably 10 times as worse as what this is. Okay. However, that's what powers this thing.
Yeah.
Lithium ion. Okay. So it is kind of interrupting the industry as far as storage is concerned.
Yeah.
But because of the size of the components.
The size is beautiful, man.
Yeah, they're nothing.
Right. You don't have big, huge, deep cell batteries.
It doesn't even look as big as some of the inverters we used to have just a couple years ago.
Exactly.
It's amazing. No, I think it's a very smart thing. Yeah.
Good.
So
Generac,
I think that's
kudos.
The way to go,
Yeah.
Way to go.
See?
Generac.
Innovation.
This deserves the applause button, right?
That deserves an applause. No, I think they did something really good.
Okay, that's enough.
Yeah, you need to learn how to taper that off.
We need a nice little soft transition.
No,
down.
let me try it. I think I can. Hang on, let me see.
Oh my God, no. There we go.
Oh, dude, I had this switch all the time.
Hold on one second.
Damn.
You've known this all this time?
Hang on.
Wait, this volume knob?
Yeah, no kidding.
There's a volume knob, Rob.
Oh, check that out.
God.
Check that out.
Chris 2.0. Oh, shoot.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Who bought this? No.
Yeah, that's part of
He's
it.
like, what do I need directions for?
I didn't read that line 5.
Yeah.
Just turn the volume down.
Beautiful. Part
Nice.
of the mixer.
Okay, cool.
Well, that's good
Generac,
stuff.
yeah, Generac's got good stuff. I just want to mention there's some guy on LinkedIn trying to save the earth again. He's talking about a million different things. We got things in progress. I don't know if...
Like, do you have a comparative that would be much better than what he's trying to advocate?
As long as he's not telling me that the earth is flat,
feeding
I'm okay.
children, maybe?
SPF 50 works. So you don't have to worry about getting burned to death. Go to the beach still.
Wow.
Live your life. Listen, by the time you're done worrying about this, you're toast. So don't worry about it. Us older guys in this room, well, we feel 35, don't we?
Well, generationally though, we have to be thinking about the future. Like I have sons that are younger.
I think they're going to be covered.
Look, I'm not so impressed
as long
about
as
that.
He guides his sons down those paths.
Right,
But if he lets them sit stagnant, then guess who's to blame?
I educate my kids. And
Kids, really?
Some kids, they receive the education, but they don't incorporate the education.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I was just even this past weekend, we play a little poker together, and sometimes my sons come up with stuff. I'm just like, wow, I don't have to worry.
How'd you do that?
I don't have to worry about you. But they have their own ideas about society and where things need to go and the environment and stuff. And I'm like, wow, you're spot on. But we do have to think generationally. I think part of our problem is we got too many 80-year-olds in politics that don't have to worry for more than the next 10 years, but we have a country that's going to need to survive hundreds.
Hundreds, right.
So, and the environment is an issue, but here's the thing. Saving the environment actually saves you money and produces jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could do all three at one time.
How do you say no to that?
How often do you get a win-win-win? We have
Yeah.
one in front of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Save the consumer money, save the planet, create jobs.
Work at Jack in the Box, $18 an hour.
Yeah. I went to In-N-Out the other day. It was $17 to $20.50
You know,
an
those
hour
managers
starting.
make $100 and something thousand a year.
160 to 200 grand. My guy does.
Ooh, flipping burgers. Imagine that.
My former brother-in-law, I still call him my brother-in-law. He does loans for a lot of them.
Really?
For their homes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he hasn't found one that
Nice.
makes less than 160.
Hey, at least, listen, when I was a kid, it was $2.60 an hour.
Yeah.
So screw these kids. They can get off their butt and go get a job, start somewhere, be a good contributor to the planet, and just don't drink bottled water anymore, I guess. Because the plastics, they're going to be another list on your...
Atmospheric water generator.
Right.
We need to push that
Go to the
more.
website.
We need to... That should be...
QHIinc.com. In fact, I'm going to add it.
We
How
need to
about
put
that?
more about that because it's something that, yeah, it just
We
makes
need
so
to pay
much sense.
attention.
It's
Yeah.
not that expensive.
No.
How much are average people, we should calculate this, spending on bottled water just
Wait.
to ingest 400 particles of plastics in our body?
Shaun
every day?
always goes, Chris is getting water from Quill. There's $100. I get
Well,
like
and the
10
dangerous thing,
cases.
the smaller cases, those smaller bottles are almost the worst culprits, because per bottle, there's more plastic in that than even the bigger bottles.
Yeah.
And we only had 400 million pieces of plastic
How
wash up
come
on
there's a
this stuff.
skull on the bottom of this
It's
plastic?
giving you a hint. It's giving
Skull
you
and bones.
It's giving you a hint. Yeah.
Well, man, I want to thank you guys for hanging out again today. Today was episode 55. I don't believe it. The year is almost toast.
I know.
So
Before long, they'll be playing Christmas music. Of course, it's right before Thanksgiving, which bugs the hell out of me. But, I guess Santa Claus has got a priority.
coming to town.
I hope not. I hate that guy. It cost me about $3,000 a year. That guy just freaking constantly ripping at my soul. Best Buy goes, we love it. Oh my God.
One of my friends said he just said to his kids, Santa, the sleigh, it crashed. Sorry. He didn't make it. Rudolph was the
okay.
first one to go.
Instead of the red nose, you got a brown nose because you backed him into Donner or something like that.
No, but it's no, but we do. Look, give yourself a gift this year. Stop paying your utility.
Yeah, get a solar
And
system.
Get a solar
Hello.
system. Be under 2.0.
26% back. I know you guys are paying
Move
taxes.
quickly to get in before the
I
end
got
of
to
the
get a
year.
cow moo.
Oh no! Don't get a
No,
I don't know.
and the Batman maybe. I don't know.
Kapow.
I found.
How about kapow?
I found the sound button, so I'm cool.
You could do the kapow.
Kapow,
So when it's a
yeah.
punch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Any final words, Shaun? Today's Tuesday. What do you want to say for the rest of the week?
Well, I don't want to say anything for the rest of the week.
Till it's
'cause
Friday?
I'm not there yet.
Yeah, right. You're only giving today, pal. Tomorrow's not here yet.
That's correct.
So, any final words?
Yeah, don't eat M&Ms.
What? This is the most important part of the
hell?
whole show.
It
Why?
can't be the milk chocolate ones. I love the milk chocolate M&Ms. Hello.
Hold on.
My
Why would you say?
favorite.
Why would you say
Yeah.
that?
Where'd that come from?
I know a woman. She lives on them.
Come on, man.
You might gain too much weight.
Oh yeah. So for me, weight gain. No, weight gain is really simple.
That was your pun, right?
I can have all the fat in the world, but give me carbs or sugar, and I'll gain a pound a day. Take carbs and sugar out of my diet, I'll lose a pound a day.
So let me get this straight. You don't like Olive Garden anymore?
Never did. I'm Italian.
Oh, what?
That ain't Italian, dude. That's the 7-Eleven of Italian food. Trust me. I've been to Italy. I cooked my own shit. I was around my whole family that cooked Italian food. I cook Italian food. That's, yeah.
Okay. Final words, Rob?
Yeah, just, I hope everyone out there is well. Take care of yourselves and also just get educated about these things because the big corporations are always going to take advantage of you unless you get educated
Do something
and take
about
your
it.
power back. And
Right.
not any pun intended with electricity, but you actually have the power to control your own bill, to flatten out your rate, own your own power. Don't give your power away. I mean, there was a time solar was very expensive to have. Now it's cheaper to own than rent your energy.
Yeah, I like it.
It's time, people. And how many people do we have that still send us their bills that have been either drastically reduced or zeroed out, right? Except for the connection fee, obviously.
Or horribly miscalculated.
Yeah, we've seen how many systems have we had to fix.
Oh my
for
God.
people that
Just ridiculous.
somebody just didn't calc it right.
Yep.
You know, we're not the best looking group. We know what the hell we're doing though.
What do you,
We know what we're doing. We've been doing this a long time.
I mean, the combined, I don't know, experience in this room, I got 30 now. Sean's got 20 something. And you've got close to 30, so 60, 70, 80.
Just with the three of us, without the rest of the team.
85 years.
We're geriatrics when it comes to this.
And
but
Brett's not here. He's got another 25.
Geez.
So there's 120 years experience.
Brett's another encyclopedia of this stuff.
Exactly.
And when you have that and you don't have some kid that got trained 2 weeks ago to tell you something he doesn't even know what he's selling you.
Hear that, cheesecake?
Yeah, no, that's the thing. And we really do care about our customers. That's really the thing, because at the end of the day, I want to treat you like I want to be treated as a customer. But solar, man, if you got a decent sized bill, you cannot go wrong.
My final words are: don't take any wooden nickels.
Yeah.
And if you do, spend them on a solar system.
Jeez, I got to
give us a call at QHI. We're here to help.
Yeah.
And we don't accept wooden nickels.
Yeah, by the way, we don't. Disclaimer, wooden nickels not allowed.
Those are probably expensive, Sean. Hey, everybody.
Like the $1 trillion coin, right? That they threw out the door.
Wasn't it the copper penny costs more than a penny to make?
It does. Yeah. It's crazy, right?
Crazy.
All right, everybody. Thanks again for listening. We appreciate you. Have a spectacular day.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to The Energy Hour. Visit them on the internet by going to qhiinc.com/TEO. That's qhiinc.com/TEO.
Capture the joyful magic of the holiday season with Virtual Santa. Virtual Santa is a high-definition projection effect that walks, waves, laughs, eats cookies, and puts presents under the tree. From outside, it's so real, you swear Santa's in your house. Virtual Santa, originally seen on ABC's The Great Christmas Light Fight. You can choose from traditional Virtual Santa or new African American Santa. Holiday effects include Virtual Santa, Mrs. Claus, Santa's Workshop with Christmas elves, and so much more. Buy one effect or a bundle. Available in HD DVD, digital download, or USB flash drive. Also available in LED projection bundles. For a winning Christmas display that will delight your neighbors young and old, visit us at virtualsanta.com and become known as the house where Santa lives. Virtual Santa, where holiday spirit begins.
Solaria. Beauty, efficiency, and power. For nearly 20 years, Solaria has set the pace for solar panel performance, efficiency, reliability, quality, and design. Solaria continues to leverage its patented technology, engineering expertise, and sophisticated automation into creating one of the most attractive, energy-efficient solar panels available on the market today. Redefining home solar. Solaria's high-output solar panels deliver maximum energy production in a streamlined, all-black design that complements your home's architectural style with more than 20% more energy per square meter than traditional solar panels. Solaria's advanced Power XT panels pack maximum power into minimum space for industrial leading efficiency. Enjoy clean, reliable power day in and day out, backed by our 25-year warranty. Solaria is the new benchmark for solar energy. Quality you can trust for your home and business. For more information, go to qhiinc.com/Solaria.
This podcast is brought to you by Aliva Digital Marketing, lead generation and SEO for local businesses. Increase your web presence with their results in advanced strategy, including a video website audit and analysis for free. Listeners of this podcast can get 75% off Aliva's fees. But hurry, only the first 5 businesses that inquire can get this deal. Aliva Digital Marketing, a proud sponsor of this podcast. Online at alivadigital.com.
Got your latest electric bill? Is it less than last month or last year? Probably not. But if you had a solar system from QHI, it would be. Your electric meter could be running backwards. Right now, get a QHI system installed for no money down, no out-of-pocket expenses. Get an immediate savings on your electric bill. Call 909-609-5437. Solar is all they do. Call QHI 909-609-5437.
Did you guys know that your solar panels will produce less energy when they're dirty? Why would you pay all that money for a solar system and lose energy? You might be losing up to 30%. Hey, check this out. My friend Ozzie is going to come out to your home or business and clean your solar panels with distilled water, not regular tap water. They're going to do it right. Check them out on the internet at MrGlossyLLC.com. That's MrGlossy LLC.com. You can also give them a call at 909-955-5506.